from Louisiana's home team. This is Fox 8 News at 10 p.m.
Good evening and welcome back. Breaking news tonight in Jefferson Parish, where deputies say Archie Jefferson surrendered to investigators.
He was wanted for misapplication of funds and theft involving home elevation work completed at a house in Marrero. Sheriff Newell Norman says a subcontractor, TMB Services, claims Jefferson didn't pay for $14,000 worth of work. Jefferson is also under investigation by New Orleans police in connection with the recent beating death of his wife, Sandra.
We're also following breaking news in the 7th Ward. Police tell us 2 people were shot about 20 minutes ago in the 2100 block of Annette Street. We hope to bring you more details as they become available.
The State Mineral Board says despite a House resolution being voted down, their vote counts, and the Attorney General will still look into questionable oil leases from the 1930s.
Board member Tom Arnold says what happened was at the very least unethical, and now is up to the AG to find out if the state has a way out. The actions of the past week have a State Mineral Board member skeptical.
Obviously, there's something there. Lobbyists wouldn't be lobbying if everything was out in the open, was fair.
Tom Arnold has been monitoring the votes at the state capitol. In fact, his brother Jeff Arnold chairs the House committee that voted down a resolution that would request the Attorney General investigate those questionable oil leases. Arnold's aware a lobbyist urged lawmakers to vote no.
Who had you lobby on behalf of the House resolution from last week?
Some friends.
Did they pay you?
They did not.
Who were the friends?
Just friends.
And Arnold says some Mineral Board members have started to get calls, too.
So you think the lobbyists just took too long to get to them?
I think we blindsided them. I think they weren't ready for it.
The Mineral Board voted earlier this month to request the Attorney General investigate. And since that vote, Arnold says he's gotten plenty of feedback.
During this process of the investigative series, I've been getting phone calls. People ask me, this is wrong. A lot of them don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
A lot of them have questions about it. Well, the public's not sure that it's legal. The Attorney General should look at it. I mean, he works for the people. He's the public defender in this case.
The Attorney General says it would cost $500,000 to investigate.
I think it's a good investment. $500,000 for a $30 million return. It's a good deal.
Canceling the leases would get the state at least $30 million a year and would cost descendants of 3 former governors, Huey Long, James Noe, and O.K. Allen, tens of millions.
No, you shouldn't pay for the sins of your father. No, so nobody should pay for the sins of their father, but you shouldn't profit from the sins of your great-grandfather. That's what's happening.
What's happening now is work behind the scenes. A lobbyist trying to stop any investigation. A state senator who's married to Huey Long's great-granddaughter talking to his colleagues, too. It has Tom Arnold wondering, is that a sign the state may have a chance to get out of the leases?
Do you think they're lobbying because they're concerned that there's an out for the state?
Somebody thinks there's a concern. They wouldn't be making those phone calls.
Arnold says the Attorney General will issue a report to the Mineral Board before the end of the year. Exclusively on Fox8Live.com, we've posted Huey Long's FBI files, more than 1,700 pages of FBI documents that investigate potential corruption by Louisiana's former governor. You can look at the entire file on our website, Fox8Live.com.
Fox 8 has learned the NOPD is investigating whether an Alabama teenager arrested during Mardi Gras was beat up while handcuffed. The Public Integrity Bureau is questioning officers in the 8th District about what happened during and after the arrest. Dylan Driggers was on Bourbon Street the weekend before Mardi Gras when he says someone pushed him into a state trooper. He was arrested for public intoxication and battery on a police officer. The police report says while at the 8th District, Driggers kicked an NOPD lieutenant and spit on a sergeant, but the report only makes mention of a minor scrape on the teen's forehead. It also says Driggers refused medical treatment by EMS, so he was taken to central lockup and booked. But according to the jail, almost 3 hours after his arrest, prison officials refused to book the teenager for medical reasons. So NOPD left with Driggers and came back to OPP 3 hours later with the appropriate medical paperwork.
I was taken to the hospital in an ambulance because I was knocked unconscious.
What happened when you got to the hospital?
They took me to a waiting room and they gave me a CAT scan, but if you look at the police report, you'll see that never comes up.
Driggers says he's not the one who alerted the Public Integrity Bureau, but he's happy to hear an investigation is underway. His charges are still pending in municipal court.
Police picked up a student at a school today for armed robbery. NOPD officers arrested 17-year-old Willie Sylvester at LB Landry High School in Algiers. They say he robbed a man at gunpoint on Belgrade Street last weekend. Officers say the victim identified Sylvester as the robber from a photo lineup. A tornado damages at least 15 homes in an Araby subdivision.
It touched down around 4 o'clock this afternoon in the Carolyn Park area. Evan Anderson reports.
It touched the ground over there.
Amona Kelly had her back turned weed-eating her front yard when she felt the wind picking up behind her.
So that's how I said, oh God, I'm going to blow away. I turned around and looked, and there was the tornado right in that field right there. It hit that, it wasn't even touching the ground yet, and it tore that tree up.
Kelly and her neighbors say they watched a tornado rip through their subdivision in shock.
A man comes out across the street and he's like, did you see it? I was like, yeah, there it goes. And he's like, wow, we was both just in awe watching the trash in the air.
And it circled, it came around almost to the government complex. It actually broke up right by the government complex.
And that's our bedroom, glass everywhere.
Mindy Chaplin was at work in New Orleans when she got several phone calls and texts from her neighbors.
More damage than I thought, because then you think of all the little stuff like, I need a new bed, I need new carpet, all this glass. Glad I wasn't laying here.
Parish officials say at least 15 homes in the Carolyn Park area received moderate damage.
It's still going on. I can see it in my head. It was wild. And I'm just glad nobody got hurt.
In Araby, Evan Anderson, Fox 8 News.
And crews cleaned up storm debris and quickly put blue tarps on damaged rooftops. Nobody was hurt, though. Former Jefferson Parish Attorney Tom Wilkinson wants U.S. Attorney Jim Letton's office removed from his corruption case. Wilkinson's attorney filed the motion in federal court, citing revelations of online comments by former prosecutor Sal Perricone about Wilkinson's case. It also points out that Wilkinson's brother is a sitting U.S. magistrate judge in the same judicial district. Wilkinson and former parish president Aaron Broussard face charges of fraud, conspiracy, and theft in connection with a payroll fraud scheme.
New Orleans City Councilwoman Stacey Head calls out fellow council members Cynthia Hedge Morell and John Johnson for preventing the council from conducting public business. Head's comments come the day after Hedge Morell released a written statement defending her decision to boycott recent meetings. Her absence combined with Johnson's have denied the council a quorum, and therefore the council has not been able to vote on a replacement for Head in the District B seat. She recently took over the council at large position. Hedge Morell says she does not agree with what she calls inconsistencies and a lack of discussion as part of this election process. Head fired back at a statement saying, "We have all been on the losing side of votes. In those instances, we attend meetings, articulate why we are voting against the majority, vote, move on, and continue to conduct city business. At no time in the history of the council have members decided to boycott meetings and voluntarily halt council responsibilities." Stacey Head nominated Errol George as her replacement. Hedge Morell said she plans to attend the next regular meeting scheduled for June 7th. A bluesy guitar guy from Georgia takes the American Idol title.
Yeah, record viewer voting, and Philip Phillips defeated California teen Jessica Sanchez, I should say. Shelley Brown is live in Los Angeles with the latest from tonight's star-studded results show. A lot of excitement.
You would think that the show did not end, Kim and Lee. I'm telling you, tons of people out here tonight. Lots of Idol fans waiting to get a snapshot, maybe an autograph with one of the Idol contestants. But yeah, and I can't believe 132 million votes. That's 40 million more than last week. I want to share the dramatic moments with you right now. The very last few seconds of that 2-hour show between Jessica Sanchez from California and Philip Phillips of Georgia. And Philip Phillips was the winner at the end of the night. You know, he performed with John Fogerty. Also, Jessica Sanchez was on stage with Grammy winner Jennifer Holliday. Those two belted it out. J-Lo and Randy were actually on their feet. And when Louisiana's Idol, Joshua Ledette, got on stage, everybody was dancing. J-Lo was dancing. Randy was on his feet. Steven was standing up. And Joshua, a little bit earlier tonight, shared his thoughts on what that moment or those moments were like to be on stage with Fantasia.
That was the most amazing experience of my entire life. I can't believe that I was on the stage with Fantasia Barrino.
And I know this is not the last we're going to see of you because you're going to be on the Idol Tour all summer, and I hear you going to Lafayette.
Yes, we are going to Lafayette, the Cajun Dome. I think it's July 31st or June 31st. I can't remember.
I think it's July 30th.
Yeah, July 30th. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, he was very pumped to be on stage tonight. We saw a lot of Josh tonight, and I know that's not going to be the end. He mentioned the Idol Tour happening this summer, July 30th in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, the Cajun Dome, and then Idol auditions happening in New Orleans, July 17th at the New Orleans Arena. That's the latest from here in downtown Los Angeles. We'll send it back to you in New Orleans, and it looks like I'll finally be coming home, guys.
Finally. All right, Shelley, thanks so much.
All right, tonight our new investigation uncovers shocking police dash cam video.
You're degrading me right now.
See how a public official tried to use his position to get out of a DWI arrest. Our new investigation coming up right after Bob's forecast.
Now, your most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Breck.
Well, hi, gang. Unless you've been in a cave all day and you didn't hear, we've had some severe weather around. At noon hour, you would say, well, come on, Breck, there's not much out there. This little shower east of the city, that was at 12 noon. And that shower moved out over Lake Bourne by 1 o'clock, 1:30. And as it moved eastward, it sent out a little outflow boundary headed back westward. Now that coupled with the lake breeze coming down from the north, and you see this line of weather out to the southwest. That kind of sent everything together. So right in this area, this takes us to almost 2:30 now, and it looked very innocent on radar. At 2:30, yeah, no big deal. By 3 o'clock, it just boom, exploded, and that's where the tornado happened. Wasn't very big, only a quarter-mile wide or long and 100 yards wide. So it compared to the ones up north that are like miles long and sometimes a mile or two wide, this is a little puppy. Thank goodness that we don't get those big ones that they have up north. But then that thing moved away. We did have some other storms around, but that was the big story today. And it's long gone, so we can say adios to that. Now, what caused that today, we were on the tail end of a boundary wrapped up around low pressure here. That boundary is going to shift east tomorrow. You see a cold front up north. That's not coming our way. No clouds here. That's because high pressure aloft is going to build eastward. That's going to squash any showers tomorrow. So if we see any showers tomorrow, they won't be here. They should be, say, east of Biloxi, inland from the beaches, and even if you're going to the beaches this weekend, it looks pretty good. We don't have any cold air coming at all. In fact, if you've been out tonight, you notice it's kind of mild and muggy out there. We're in the 70s right now, 80 up in Shreveport. Morning lows were in the 60s North Shore, 70s south. Might not be quite as nice tomorrow morning when you get up. And the current readings are in the 70s. The daytime high today got up to 89. It was plenty hot. Thank goodness the rain did come. Winds tonight are generally out of the south and fairly light, and downtown it's looking pretty good. We have the dew point up to 70. Gives you an idea. It's pretty humid. South winds at 7, and the barometer is at 29.84 and kind of low. So we have tonight all the showers gone. Nothing left on radar. The skies will clear. Might have a little patchy fog towards daybreak. Tomorrow we're looking for not a day like today. Should be more sun, few if any clouds, and any isolated coastal showers won't be around us. That's why I'm thinking we're going to get back up to 90 or above. And that forecast, well, the 90s is no surprise. What is a surprise? The lack of rain until maybe late Sunday or Monday. Should be a good weekend.
Sounds good. All right, Bob. We want to get back to some breaking news that we told you about earlier. A double shooting in the 7th Ward. Natasha Robin is there live with the latest.
And that's right, police are investigating a double shooting tonight in the 7th Ward. This all unfolded around 9:30 at Annette and North Galvez. I'll step out of the way so you can see the scene behind me. Family members of the victims have arrived. We saw one woman who appeared to be the mother of one of the victims. She has been crying here in the scene. Several police officers also here investigating. We're getting very little information from the NOPD at this point, but I can tell you when we first arrived, we saw an ambulance. There was a young girl in the back of it. She was being worked on. We do not know the extent of her injuries or her age. She did, though, appear to be a young teenager. The only thing we have confirmed right now from the NOPD is that 2 people were shot. Both of them rushed to the hospital. And again, this all unfolded in the 2100 block of Annette. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Natasha Robin. Well, you know, we don't often get video of a public official trying to use his position to get out of an arrest.
But that's what we'll show you tonight. A public official getting charged with drunk driving and public intimidation. He used curse words and threats to try and convince a state trooper to let him go home. This story starts on Airline Highway in St. John Parish from the dash camera of a local state trooper's car. See if you notice what the trooper spotted. Back up the video. See the car on the left of your TV? Stopped in the middle of the road with the lights off. The trooper immediately turned his lights on. What ensued was not your ordinary traffic stop.
Stop! Stop! Hey! Stop! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
This happened just after midnight, nearly 20 months ago. State police just gave us the video this year.
Do not move. Why are you pulling off? I'm behind you trying to talk to you and you pull off from me. Why are you sitting in the middle of the road? Where are you going? Why were you stopped in the middle of the road with no lights on? Now I come up to talk to you to find out what's going on and you pull off. As I'm telling you to stop and I'm screaming at you. Then you pull in here and keep going. Then I tell you to get your hands up and get out of the car, and you're going to reach into a spot that I can't see in the car. How much had you drink tonight? Nothing. Nothing at all? What's that odor of alcoholic beverage coming from your breath that I smell? That's nothing? No, it's a function.
The man in the car, Jeff Perilou. At the time, he worked for St. John Parish government. The state trooper quickly found out his job title and the power he tried to use.
You have a St. John officer here, okay, friend. Can you just tell him that perhaps he can get me home? But he didn't stop you, sir. I know, sir, but sir, you know who I am. Huh? You know who I am? No, I'm the parish attorney. Okay. Hey, you're going to embarrass me. Turn around, sir. The parish attorney. That's fine. Turn around. Hey, do what you got to do. Turn around. Hands on your back. Thank you, sir. That's great.
Perilou worked for the district attorney Tom Daly, serving as the parish attorney for St. John, the top legal advisor for the parish government.
You know who I am? No, sir. Sir, I am a assistant district attorney. Okay. Right now, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You're degrading me right now, I am an assistant district attorney. Okay. You are degrading me, and this is horrible. Okay. Come walk back here. That's fine. I'm an assistant district attorney, man.
When they got in the trooper's car, Perilou turned even more confrontational.
Who is the parish attorney and ruined it? You understand that? You think I'm going to sit back and take that? The very next thing I do is talk to your boss. But I know you don't care. Mr. Perilou. No, sweetheart. Mr. Perilou, listen to me. Okay? No. You need to mind what you say and ensure that you do not make any threats. Congratulations. You're taking the parish attorney and making him a fool. I did nothing. You could have said, you know what, Jeff, can I follow you home? I'm a state trooper. I'm going to follow you home. You didn't. You just started being a That's your choice, not mine. And that's okay with me. I am the parish attorney. I'm not some little lowlife.
The trooper brought Perilou into the St. John Parish Jail. According to a police report, Perilou continued to be belligerent. We were able to get some video from inside the jail, but no audio. The only account, the police report. The report says Perilou came in with slurred speech and a strong odor of an unknown alcoholic beverage. Perilou repeated countless times that he has been the parish attorney for 10 years and is an ADA for St. John. The officer wrote Perilou repeatedly yelled expletive you and made obscene gestures. He then told them to go expletive, expletive Tom Daly, who is the St. John district attorney. And officers wrote, he said, I will destroy you, saying when he is DA in 2 years, he will remember what we did to him. Perilloux refused to submit to a breath test when the officer told him the refusal would cause his driver's license to be suspended for 1 year. Again, Perilloux responded, expletive U.
First, he starts asking for favors, and then when the officer does his duty, he resorts to foul language and threatens him to have his job and destroy him. That is crossing the line.
The Metropolitan Crime Commission filed a complaint with the State Bar Association, asking them to review the tape and the police report. The Attorney General handled this case. The AG rejected the public intimidation charge.
I think unequivocally you've seen a public official attempt to use his position to intimidate and suggest that law enforcement not perform their sworn duty.
The DWI charge against Perilloux has been expunged, erased. That's not necessarily uncommon for a first-time offender. Perilloux still works for St. John Parish government. He resigned from the DA's office 2 months after this arrest, but soon after, the parish council hired him as its attorney. He makes $125 an hour.
The fact that he's still employed in parish government, he ought to consider himself fortunate.
And Goyeneche says fortunate on this September night, authorities didn't pursue charges that Perilloux tried to use his job, his status in the community, to get out of driving drunk.
You could have said, Mr. Perilloux, I will help you get home. I apologize that, tonight I was in a hard night. Perilloux, I'm going to warn you a second time and the final time. I don't care what you have to say. Okay. I really could care less what you have to say. You made it clear you don't care who I am.
Perilloux said he would be unavailable for an interview, but did send us a statement. It reads, in part, I sincerely regret the mistakes that I made, which led to my arrest and prosecution. Although I am deeply embarrassed by this incident, I have spent the better part of that time since actively pursuing curative efforts to deal with my alcohol issue. I have been sober since the night of my arrest. I accept responsibility for my actions and have taken the necessary steps legally, professionally, and personally to move forward in my life in a positive manner.
So he's got a new job with the council. How much has he been paid for that?
And that's a question we don't know. We put in a public records request. We know his rate is $125 an hour. We don't know how much he has been paid. We're honestly waiting to hear back from the council. We thought we'd get, they told us we would get our response today and how much money he's made. There's a question that they have a letter of engagement dated May of this year, just a few weeks ago, but he's been working for them before that. And we had a question, well, how did he start working before the letter of engagement? Lots of questions. When we get an answer, we'll try to update you with the information.
All right, we want to bring you up to date on that breaking news we told you about. 2100 block of Annette Street, a double shooting. We're now learning that one of the victims is a 13-year-old girl who was shot in the buttocks. The other victim, an adult male, shot several times. Both were taken to the hospital. No word on their condition. NOPD is still on that scene.
And we'll be right back.
From Louisiana's home team, this is Fox 8 News at 10 p.m.
With your Wednesday sports and baseball, LSU was 14-4 in one-run games this season. Could that winning trend carry over to the SEC tournament? Well, Tigers down 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning against Mississippi State when Mason Katz leads the comeback with a liner into left that'll score 2 and tie the game. But the Bulldogs would answer right back with DeMarcus Henderson. His shot into center field puts his team up by a run. Move to the top of the 9th. Austin Nola flashing the glove at shortstop and then shows off the arm. But alas, great defense doesn't do a thing for the offense as the Tigers go on to lose by a final count of 3-2.
We knew going into the game that there wasn't going to be a lot of margin for error going up against Stratton. He's really good. You know, we've seen him 3 years now, and I think that was the 4th time he's pitched against us. I'm about ready for that kid to go into professional baseball, so we don't have to see him anymore.
So LSU gets back at it early in the morning against Ole Miss, a team they took 2 of 3 from in Oxford earlier this month. Tulane on the field in Conference USA play. They knock off East Carolina, and Central Arkansas losing to Southeastern. Southeastern wins it 6-3. So while college baseball teams are trying to get to the NCAA playoffs, college football is just trying to create a playoff system. Earlier today, our Sean Fazan caught up with LSU Athletic Director Joe Oliva to get his thoughts on a playoff system.
You've noticed recently that the SEC formed an alliance with the Big 12 to play our 2 champions to play. And it'll give us leverage in that playoff system. I really believe there'll be a 4-team playoff coming very shortly.
We'll have much more on Sean's exclusive interview with Joe Oliva. Tune into the Final Play this Sunday at 9:30. Back in New Orleans tonight, the Touchdown Club put on its Super Boil in Harahan. All the rookies and free agents, most sucking the heads and pinching the tails for the very first time.
This is my first time ever attacking crawfish, so it's an adventure, and it's a lot to work through, but it's worth it.
It's good. It's my first time, but I like it, so it's good. I like lobster, so it's a little bit similar. A lot of work, though.
Hey, listen, I'm a South Philly guy. It's spaghetti and meatballs and a bada bing, bada boom. But, hey, listen, I love our fans, and if our fans love crawfish, then I love crawfish, too.
Like the way he thinks.
That's it. That's it. Hey, listen, win in Rome.
Did you have
That's right.
I did. I'm getting pretty good at it, actually.
You getting quick?
Yeah,
You gotta be quick.
Let's not go crazy.
Okay.
Thanks, Fred.
All right. Well, a fire destroyed it 3 months ago.
Coming up when the iconic Rocky and Carlos will reopen.
From Louisiana's home team, this is Fox 8 News at 10 p.m.
An iconic restaurant in St. Bernard Parish will reopen its doors on Tuesday.
Rocky and Carlos closed in February after a fire caused severe damage to the building. Owner Tommy Tomasio says they hope to have last-minute touches done by Friday so inspectors can come in and sign off on the renovations. He says you can expect a few changes, like a couple of new murals, but they will have the same menu.
Forward to that. Macaroni and cheese with red gravy.
Our producer, Kristen Soar, will be there right
Okay, we're all going to be lined up.
That's the news. Thanks for watching.
Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Our next newscast starts at 5 a.m.
Fox 8 is proudly locally owned.